Thank you, Andrew, and good morning. Our chairman sent me a message this morning and said good luck with the presentation. He passed on his apologies that he couldn't be here. However, my response to that was I don't need luck for this presentation because I enjoy talking about Air Niugini and the Air Niugini journey so much, and hopefully you'll get a little bit of that. I want to sort of work through what happened when I started, what the situation was with Air Niugini, where we've progressed so far, and I guess more importantly where we see ourselves at the end of this year, which has been a real challenge for us. My background, this will be a little bit more relevant for one of the latest slides. 37 years in the industry, 36 of which was with Qantas, primarily in the engineering operational space, in the last few years in more general management type roles. Bit of an aviation tragic. Grew up making model aeroplanes, pretty much all I know. I think my wife and I have discussed career opportunities outside of aviation once, and that lasted about 3 seconds and went back to it. So I really don't know anything different, and I'm sure this is what I'm going to retire from. So as I mentioned, I started in October 2018. That was a tough year for Air Niugini. They lost 2 aircraft. The first fatality in 45 years. One of those was the Dash 8 in Milne due to civil unrest, and the other was the 737 in Micronesia with the landing accident. I don't think I've put the money there, but there was a substantial loss in 18 as there was in 17. So there were some drastic actions needed. The chairman was appointed halfway through last year. As I said, I was in October. The chairman took some immediate steps, which was vital in stemming the flow, and those immediate steps were pulling out of loss-making routes. Now, they're very difficult decisions to make because you are going to upset people at both ends of those routes. However, the margins are so slim in an airline that you cannot afford to operate those routes without, you will go out the door very quickly, as you'll see, you've seen a lot of airlines do around the world. So it's important, and it was really important that the chairman made that decision. Last quarter, as I said, we suspended those routes and we launched a program that we're proud of called Higher Altitudes, which I'll talk about shortly. I'll call it a transformation program once. However, when we talk about transformation, you're trying to imply that you're fixing something that's broken. And Air Niugini is not broken. It wasn't broken when we came in. It's got 45 years of fantastic history, but it was a turbulent couple of years. These were some of the things we put in place pretty much straight away. Organisational restructure, management system review, reorganise the executive team, an operational focus. We needed to really concentrate on delivering the schedule that we published. We had a fair bit of unreliability in the aircraft fleet. We had trouble producing the schedule, so we really needed to focus on that. And some customer engagement, really getting down to the brass tacks of what our customers want to hear and want Air Niugini to be doing. These are the 4 pillars of our Higher Altitudes program, which I'll expand on shortly, but quickly there's cost control, essential in an airline environment. Anything we can do in the revenue enhancement space. Now that's not putting ticket prices up. That's doing things differently. That's doing things more competitively, expanding our code share partners, looking at ancillary revenues, those sort of opportunities. The third pillar, which I call our most important one, is developing our people. It's the Air Niugini family that deliver the service that we're so well known for, and they're the people that we as the management team need to be supporting. I'll expand on that a bit in a minute. And finally, our operational and customer excellence. If we're not delivering to either of those, then why are we in the business? So this expands a little bit more on it. I'll start in the upper left with our cost. What can we do to make ourselves more efficient? What is world's best practice? Waste elimination. We've introduced a smart procurement system, and of course process automation. What can we do in that space? Each of the GMs get sick and tired of hearing me raise higher altitudes when they bring a new program to me with either cost control or revenue enhancement. Get it down into higher altitudes. Get the numbers on your books because they're the ones that are accountable for delivering it. Revenue opportunities, as I said, more from less, expanded code share opportunities, new ventures. One of the ones that we announced recently was direct Nandi services from Port Moresby starting in September. We've also been talking to the Cairns community about possibly replacing the Cathay Pacific flights that they're pulling out from Hong Kong to Cairns. We've been down there engaging. It's not necessarily the passenger traffic through there, but it's the freight. Cairns have an enormous live fish and live lobster industry there that is transshipped to Hong Kong and then into mainland China. If Cathay pull out of that sector and no one replaces them, they'll shut that industry down. There's no alternative. They could fly it to Brisbane, but they need to build a multi-million-dollar facility to re-oxygenate the fish. And they said they just can't afford to do that. So that's a space that we're playing in at the moment, and hopefully in the next couple of days we'll have an answer on that, but that'll be a fantastic opportunity. Cairns, Port Moresby, Hong Kong. And what that's also done in the Cairns community is actually brought to light that Air Niugini just don't fly to Port Moresby. If you want to get to Fiji now from Cairns, it's quickest on Air Niugini via Port Moresby. And also to Singapore, Manila, Hong Kong, Honiara, Port Vila, all our other ports that we fly to. So you're using Jackson's as that hub. So it's been a really great exposure for not just Air Niugini, but for PNG and the Cairns community. We've had Cairns post front pages twice now as a result of this story. And our people. As I've said, the most important asset that the business has. You'll see the Paradise magazine that's on each of your seats. The piece that I wrote in there is about just that. It's about our higher altitudes program and about our people stream and the importance of it. We need to ensure that every person in that family has the opportunity to have the career that they aspire to. And that's our responsibility as the management team. And the last one is operational and customer excellence, improved on-time performance, aircraft availability, serviceability. That whole customer experience, that end-to-end proposition from booking the ticket to receiving your bags at the other end of the journey. So where are we up to so far? The Higher Altitudes program has delivered 20 million kina since December when we kicked it off. Rationalisation of the non-profitable routes, expanding the code shares that I spoke about, and that focus on using Jackson's as a hub. The Asia-Pacific traffic coming in through Port Moresby, then out to the Pacific. There's some really massive advantages to that. Time frame, you get there quicker. We're very competitive in the cost space. You don't have to have an Australian transit visa. A whole raft of opportunities there. The last dot point there, first customer aircraft inducted into the Air Niugini engineering facility. And this is probably one of the proudest moments of my time. As you heard, I've got an engineering background, so you can't help yourself. You go into the area you're comfortable with when you move into a new role. And I spent a bit of time in the engineering and maintenance world and started to see the quality, how they were going in there. There's some pretty standard KPIs for aircraft maintenance. Safety, number one, of course. Number two is quality. Number three is cost. And number four is your turn time. Can you turn the aeroplane check around in the time that you promised? We had the first three in spades. I used to be the accountable manager for Qantas for engineering, so I sort of got a little bit of experience with recognising quality, and Air Niugini is some of the best in the world. We just needed a little bit of help in that fourth one, turning those checks around in the right amount of time. And we've been doing a whole lot of good work throughout the year. In fact, so good that we now have our first customer aeroplane in the hangar as we speak. So Solomon Airlines usually have their maintenance done in Cairns at Hawker Pacific. And they made the big commitment to come to Air Niugini and have this check done. It's a 6-week check. It's pulling the aeroplane apart. I was walking through it the other day and there's nothing in there. It's a bare metal barrel. Everything comes out. It's a really major check. So far we're on time and we're on budget. So I think we've got 2 weeks remaining on that. But this is the first of many. Jackson's Airport is geographically perfectly located to pick up this maintenance opportunity in the region. It's a pretty major airline based in Brisbane called Alliance. They've been sending their aeroplanes to London to get their heavy maintenance checks done. It's very expensive onshore in Australia. London, it's cheaper. However, it takes them about 4 days to get there. Fuel, crew, you can imagine the costs. So we see this as a perfect opportunity to start building the capability of Niugini engineering to deliver customer aircraft. We'll start with the South Pacific Airlines, but with my background, it's not going to be long before we've got red tails coming into that hangar as well. So, that's, to me, a great opportunity, not just for the revenue that it's bringing into the country and to Air Niugini, but it's a training opportunity. As we grow and build newer facilities, we're going to need more skilled people, more skilled engineers, sheet metal workers, painters, avionics. That's a great opportunity for the people of PNG. So I can't help myself, right? So 2019, how are we looking? We're just over halfway through. Now remember I said 17 and 18 were pretty major losses. At the moment we're on schedule to deliver a modest profit, which doesn't sound fantastic, but when you recognise that's probably an 80 million kina turnaround in 12 months, that's a pretty amazing effort. Staff engagement is up. That's the first area that we needed to concentrate on. Our costs are coming down. As I said, the GMs are getting more and more aware and understanding of where we need to be in the cost space. Revenue is good. As I said, we want to protect ticket pricing. We don't want to be charging, it's almost a national service in PNG, so we don't want to be charging fares that people just can't afford. So we're protecting that. And our operational performance indicators are actually accelerating. They're going really well. Our aircraft availability in the morning, our on-time performance throughout the day has been spectacular. We now have operational spare aircraft sitting on the ramp ready to go. If there's a disruption, we can bring that spare in. We've got a review of the current Air Niugini strategy. We had a strategy day in March. We're just reviewing that now to make sure we align with the new Marape government strategy. And we're really pleased to say that it was spot on. It's pretty much exactly the same, which is a great outcome. The Higher Altitudes program, it underpins everything we do. It's not a program that starts and stops. It's the message we're trying to get through is that this will just become the way we do business. We're always looking for opportunity, always looking for improvement. So we've got 4 months to run. We watch our sales figure on a daily basis. We watch our cost savings on a daily basis. And as I said, we're cautiously optimistic of returning a profit. We won't talk about a dividend just yet. That'll be next year, but we're going okay. So thank you for your time. Appreciate the invitation, Andrew, to come up here. Remember that Air Niugini is the airline owned by the people, and that's what we're here to deliver to. So thanks very much.